So here we go with Season 2 of our coach career in EA's College Football 25. As you saw last season, we were the offensive coordinator of Ohio University. We have since received a new job offer to become the head coach of San Diego State University. I was very surprised. And while I keep telling a little bit about the backstory, we'll go ahead and watch some highlights from our first game of the season as head coach here for the Aztecs. We run pretty much a read option offense. It's not going to be very easy with this team because, first of all, they have nothing but field generals at quarterback. They don't have great receivers or great running backs. So basically, we're going to have to recruit and train just the heck out of this team to get anything done. I'm really sorry that I don't have any more footage from that first season at Ohio. The reason behind that is that I put together an entire highlight reel of the entire season and then somehow managed to completely delete that file, unretrievable. Now I still have the raw footage, but I spent so many hours putting that together that I decided I am not going to do that all over again, especially since it was just the 1 year as an OC at that one school. So I said, okay, let's just dive in to year 2, which is what we're doing right now. Against the Northern Illinois University, who is in possession right now in the red zone, threatening to score. I play 7-minute quarters, but you could still, I think, consider this to be about halfway through the first quarter. And we just have to put on our defense and make sure we get a stop here. It would be great if we could start the year with a win, but we'll just have to wait and see how things pan out. I'm not too optimistic. This is not a great team, but we'll have to wait and see. I hope that I can later on show a little bit about recruiting, who we managed to sign up. I can tell you a little bit right now that we are focusing at least primarily, if not exclusively, on 3-star recruits, because there are so many holes, there's so many positions we need to fill just to get a decent depth chart going, to get some depth at all the positions, especially places like offensive line, wide receiver, positions like that where you need a lot of people to, underclassmen to train up and until the upperclassmen graduate, so they are already ready. So the underclassmen now are ready to take over those positions. So let's jump in. We're on a third and short here for San Diego State, and he throws a pick. That's not the way to get things going here, and he's going to take it all the way back to the house. That is just typical when you first take over a team, especially a team that's not a powerhouse from the beginning. That's just the way things go. So we skipped ahead now to the end of the first quarter. Let's see if we can maybe get a pick of our own, get something going here, get some momentum for our offense to pick up on. But it's not going to be easy. Northern Illinois is not a great team in the grand scale of things, but for our level of play, they're going to be quite the opponent. So let's just see how things work out for us. I've got a little bit of info down in the description below, so go check that out. Give you maybe a little bit more information on this career mode, just in case anybody's not really doesn't have the time to go take a look at that. Basically, what we're doing is I guess you could call it a journeyman career. Whoever wants to coach us, hire us as a coach. And as long as it's an improvement to our career, we're going to take it with the goal of getting up to a semi-major to major school where we can then challenge for the national championship. My favorite kind of, and there's a score for Northern Illinois, so they get on the scoreboard a second time. Not good for us. Let's see how things are. Now we got off camera, we got another touchdown. Or we got a touchdown, so that's why it's 14-7 instead of 14-0. But right now we got them driving again, and our defense comes up with the big play, gets an interception in the end zone. That's what you like to see. That's what you want to see here. So we couldn't make any headway offensively despite the interception, so Northern Illinois is back on offense. And they're just going to keep nickeling and diming us to death with those passes like that. So we're going to have to step up and get something done here. Yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, the kind of career mode that I really enjoy the most is if I can take a school with a semi-big name. Let's just throw out an example. Let's say like Michigan State. Nobody would be really very surprised if Michigan State wins a national championship every now and then, or at least in the foreseeable future. Taking those kind of schools to the top is the most satisfying. It's a lot more satisfying than, say, taking Georgia, Alabama, or Ohio State to the top. Those teams are already up there. That's not a big deal. Even if they manage to drop off, the recruiting edge that you have is just so dominant that it's easy to get them back up to the top. That's why I like to take a school like Penn State, Michigan State, these kind of places, and fight for a national championship. Now, what I would like to do, my favorite team, Oklahoma, is take them over in the SEC and bring them to a national championship, because it looks like even in real life they're going to need as much up as they can get. So that's something I would really look forward to doing. And there's another touchdown for Northern Illinois. This is not pretty. This is not pretty at all. That was a nice throw, though. You got to admit that. Now that's something we're going to need to see more of, is a decent running game from San Diego State. We're running down to the end of the first half. Look at that. Oh, nice big hole, untouched, nothing but green in front of him. Good touchdown. I love a good running game. You know, that's what happens as a Sooners fan. Watching all the great running backs that have come through that university over the decades. That's why you just fall in love with the running game as a Sooners fan. So we got the ball back, 28-17, late third quarter. Let's see if this is this is a good example of what the read option looks like when you have a field general at quarterback. Now I realize people say, "Oh, you're not supposed to force a team into your system. You're supposed to design a system around the team you have." Oh, look at that run I just mentioned. Good running game is what I like to see. That was a really, really nice run. Now, a couple of months ago, that would not have been possible on this game because there was a patch not too long ago where the running game for all involved was vastly improved. You can actually see how running backs make changes. They see, okay, the hole I was supposed to go through is blocked. They'll look for another opening. They'll cut back, make another one. That's a 2-point conversion right there to get within field goal range. So that's something we need as we kick off the fourth quarter here now. We got the ball again. Another read option play, but you just can't do it with the field general. But as I was saying, I don't care what the general consensus is. You fit the system to your team and not the other way around. I am going to make these guys play my favorite way to play. I have a custom designed playbook that puts a good emphasis on read option. I don't do any speed option, no triple option, none of that kind of stuff. I also have tweaked the pass game, the pass routes. I took out all of those long developing, complicated pass routes, just left in the simplified stuff so that quarterbacks, especially lower quality quarterbacks, can make quicker reads, easier reads, and help them out. So that's a fake jet sweep there with the run up the middle. Almost got us a touchdown. Let's see if we can get the score here. Scoring an extra point would give us the lead. And there it is. Rushing touchdowns, I always like them. So let's see. We don't need to go for 2 because that would still only put us up by 2. And as you can see, we kicked a field goal, so we're up 32-31 now. 2 minutes left to go in the game. Let's see what Northern Illinois can do with the ball. And, oh, nice long pass. Oh, he dropped it. Thank goodness. So, coming up on the 2-minute warning, drops back again, short pass over the middle, doesn't give him any advantage whatsoever. So now we're at the 2-minute warning, or 2-minute timeout as it's called these days. 3rd and 7, they got to get the year. And he hits him over the middle, and he is gone. There is nothing they're going to be able to do about that. That is a shame. but we still have plenty of time left to get something done. So let's just pick ourselves up, brush it off, and get to work. But we weren't able to do anything. That's why you see us you see Northern Illinois in the victory formation right there. So we go down in the end, 37-32. Take my first loss in my first game as head coach. Sometimes that's the way the things go. And if you want, just here, we'll take a look at some of our highlights from the game, the very few highlights that we have. This is probably the interception while we're looking at this. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back for another episode pretty soon, show you the second game or maybe the third game. I'm not really sure yet what game is up for the next episode. So you guys, you check that out. I'll be happy to see you again. And stay cool. Always be safe. Trust your instincts. And I will leave you with a nice rush and see you the next time.
He's gone. Goodbye.